In this video, I'll show you how to solve system of three equations, and these equations have three variables, and we'll be solving for each of these variables. So we have 4a plus 2b plus 3c is equal to 5. Then we have minus 2b plus 5c equals minus 9. And then we have 6c equals minus 6. So the first step you want to do is you want to label your equations. So we'll just put this as equation 1, equation 2, and then equation 3. So the difference between normal system of equations and this method, well, this type of problem, is that this type of problem has three equations instead of two, so you have to solve for three total variables. Now, what would be our first step? So sometimes you may not get it. You may not get this type of outcome. But in this case, as you can see here, in equation 3, we can just directly solve for one of our variables because we've already isolated the variable and we have a separate value on the other side of the equation. So let's just go ahead and write out equation 3. So we'll just start by equation 3 over here. So we have 6c is equal to minus 6. How do we get the value of c? What we have to do is we have to isolate the variable. So divide by 6. C is equal to minus 6 over 6. C is equal to minus 1. C is equal to minus 1. Now that we have C is equal to minus 1, we've finished with our third equation. So we're done with our third equation. And now let's look at our first and second equation. So what can we sub in or substitute in our value of c in order to get a separate variable? We can take our value of c and we can go ahead and put it into our second equation. So what happens if we put into our second equation? So let's just start solving over here. So we have minus 2b plus 5c is equal to minus 9. And then what happens is this becomes minus 2b plus 5, and our value of c, I said over here, is minus 1. So minus 1 is equal to minus 9. Minus 2b, so 5 times minus 1 is minus 5, is equal to minus 9. Now we isolate plus 5 on both sides of the equation. Minus 2b is equal to minus 4. And then we can just divide by minus 2. B is equal to minus 4 divided by minus 2. B is equal to positive 2. Now we have the value of C and B. Now that we have two of the variables that we need, 2 out of the 3 variables that we need, we can go ahead and simply take this back and we can just plug it back into our first equation. Because this first equation has 3 variables, and if we have 2 of the variables, that means we will be able to solve. So now let's just write over here equation 1, and that will be 4a plus 2b plus 3c is equal to 5. And we can go ahead and just sub in what we have so far. We have 4a, because we don't have the value of a, plus 2, and we've already established that b is 2, times 2, plus 3, and c is minus 1, so minus 1 is equal to 5. 4a plus 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3 is equal to 5. 4a plus 1 is equal to 5. And then we go minus 1, minus 1. 4a is equal to 4. And then we would divide by 4. A is equal to 4 divided by 4. A is equal to positive 1. So now we have all three variables, and we can write it in one whole set. So A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to minus 1. Now, remember, the only reason that we were able to use this method of just finding out a variable, then substituting, and then substituting again is because one of our equations has only one variable, then the next equation has two variables, and the final one is 3. So we're able to continuously sub in until we have all three variables. Now, a problem like this can come where all three of your equations can end up with three variables in each of them. So there's a special method for solving a problem like that. So watch out for a future video. I'll upload one that talks about what to do if there are three variables in each of these equations. So thank you for watching. Be sure to watch out for that future video and like and subscribe.